Hi everybody. Today's video is going to be about the magical, mystical, sometimes, Ajna chakra, or the third eye chakra, which is located here, directly between the eyebrows. So as I do, I want to talk first about what's on the earth, the physical aspects of this particular chakra. What does it govern? So obviously, being associated with this area of our head, we would say that it's got some association with the brain. And this chakra is known as the master chakra because it actually connects to the pituitary gland, which you could say is the master gland in the body, which is responsible for secreting hormones into the bloodstream and really regulating the glands and the organs. So it has a lot to do with what goes on in the rest of the body. So if there's issues with the endocrine system, I always look here for sure. Other things that go on with the brain, obviously anyone that's suffering from headaches, from migraines, I would also look here as well. Anything to do with the sinuses, anything to do with the eyes, if there's vision problems or blurry vision or this sort of thing, I would definitely look here. Dizziness can also show up here in the Ajna. Insomnia. So there's quite a few things obviously that's connected with the endocrine system as well, so there's a lot that goes on here. And the secret with this chakra, which is really interesting, is it governs all the rest of them. Just like in the body, it's the same in the energy body. And this one's very programmable. So a lot of times you can program this one to do particular things. You can program it to balance the rest of the body. You can program it to make 4 hours of sleep feel like 7. You could do many things with more of a mastery of this area. So in terms of other characteristics that go along with this, so obviously we're going to talk about our ability to be a visionary, excuse me, the CEO of our own life. Are we able to see into the future and see potential and see possibility for what we want? And a lot of times if we can't, in association with the crown, we have to look here and start to look at cleaning and sweeping. Our ability to trust our intuition when we get a sense of something and I'm not sure that's right, I'm not sure if that person's saying what they actually mean, that kind of sense also comes here as well. Our ability to perceive subtle energies. So for some people this is clairvoyance. Sometimes you can see particular things around a person or energy fields, or you can see the line of energy around the ridge of a mountain, sparkles in the air where you can see the air prana. Some people have clairaudience where they're hearing things. Clairsentience is more with the belly, but it's also connected, our ability to sense with our bodies what's happening around us or in other people and animals, this sort of thing. Our wisdom and discernment. Really the ability to see clearly through what's being told to us, to see if the information that we're given is truly in alignment, I would say, to see through the distortions when someone's trying to maybe lead us somewhere or manipulate us in a certain way. We can see through this. So what happens when this area is overactive? So imagine if this is mental energy, and you've got so much mental energy going on, which I'm sure you've never felt. But it can really lead to a sense of anxiety or overwhelm. Some people here too, when they think too much, this is what can lead to us to be obsessed about something or to have a phobia about something, is really showing me that this area has got so much energy, so much happening. We're more open here as well when there's too much energy, so we can really be prone to psychic disturbances, to nightmares, this sort of thing. Yeah, overthinking everything. Not being able to have a thought about something and then drop down into our heart and just be. It's like the mind is constantly going. So really being over analytical about everything. What else? Have you ever been to the person who, let's see here, it says that they're channeling Jesus, channeling Mary Magdalene, and I have nothing against people who make this connection and feel that they're getting information and getting something from it, and it's giving tangible, actionable items in their life. But sometimes when this area gets overactive, the imaginations can go very, very strongly. So we can imagine that Jesus is talking to us and we've been given a divine mission and all these sorts of things. And sometimes it's very interesting because once you start to be able to discern if a person has their crown open, it's very interesting if you see someone who's just giving this divine information from God, but then when you actually sense into the crown, there's no connection, there's nothing happening there. So these kind of like charlatan gurus and these sorts of things, amazing at creating worlds with their throat and with their mind. So visioning it and then speaking it and then luring people into this. But if that's happening and there's no crown, is anything really coming from a divine order? Is it just coming from a person's mind? So this is a really important thing to be able to distinguish, and that's why I love being able to see with my hands, see energy, see the truth. So the other thing here, I think the last thing would be, those people who love to mentally dominate others. And it might feel like this when someone it's almost like they want you to think in the way that they want you to think. And it's almost like there's an energy that comes out of their agya and it distorts your own third eye. So it's like it's very difficult to think clearly. It's very difficult to put two sentences together. They'll ask you a question, but it's almost like you're so confused in their presence. And you may note of people that are like that are very, very good and that have practiced mental domination. A little secret that I do when someone does that to me is I don't look them in the eye. Make sure you look at the bridge of their nose or at their forehead, but do not make eye contact with them. That's one of the ways that they hypnotize people is through the eyes. Eyes are very powerful. So break that connection, look at the forehead or brow in that sense to protect yourself. And if you're one of those people, you need to do some balancing. And for an underactive area here, what does that look like? It's really difficult to have vision, to see a future for yourself. There's an analogy one of my teacher used. She said, like when you're in traffic and you can't really see ahead of you and not understanding why the traffic's there or how to get out of it. But when this area starts to grow and open, it's like you get up into the escalator or into the helicopter and you can look around and see so far and know, okay, yeah, if I go up that street, turn here and go around the corner, I'm going to be able to get out of the traffic. But if we don't have that ability to like look above and see, we're going to be stuck in traffic. And life can feel like that when we're really trying to break into something new, but we're just stuck and can't see a way out. This is kind of showing me that this area is a little bit weak. So these type of people with weak energy here can be easily dominated. It's also difficult to learn new things. There's just not the mental energy for it. There's like an indecisiveness in life. Should I do that? I don't know. It's really difficult. And memory can be really cloudy as well, trying to remember things. What was I? Yeah, you know. So that's generally what happens when there's not a lot of energy here. And then of course, like any ability to see or sense anything on the subtle realms or psychically becomes quite difficult as well. So if this area is underactive, what can you do? In yoga, they teach many different techniques. And if I were to live in a cave and I had nothing else to do, they would be great. To sit in the dark and stare at a candle flame for hours, to stare at a circular dot for hours. And I know some people that are doing this, and if you have the time, it's amazing. It's called Trataka, and basically it's getting something at eye level and learning to focus and concentrate in the dark, letting your eyes go soft, and really working on concentration. Because yes, concentration is the way that we build energy here. I 100% agree. Sometimes it's just difficult to lock yourself in the closet in the dark in real life. But if you can, fantastic. Other yogic techniques are chanting the mantra Om. Om, that particular frequency, they say, opens up the third eye. So some people will roll their eyes upwards towards the third eye and do slow Om chanting, and this opens it up as well. So if you're a yogi, fantastic, you can do this for 3 to 5 minutes. But again, if you look up, please don't strain your eyes. Do it for a little bit, come back down, rest, go up a little bit, come back down and rest. So yeah, these do work for sure. But on a day-to-day practical level, what for me really actually strengthened this area was just learning how to concentrate and focus my mind. to start to be more diligent and dominant with my thoughts instead of just being lazy and letting the fear come in and let it swallow me, and letting the doubt come in and letting it swallow me. The medicine work over the years and serving medicine has really shown me that doubt comes in like a cloud of energy, and it's not me. And it needs to be cleaned and moved. Oh, sorry, my camera fell. Let's try to fix that. Okay, back again. So that energy needs to be moved. And what I mean by that, if I'm singing to somebody and a huge wave, like a tornado, a tsunami of doubt comes, you know, I know that it's not mine, and I know what it feels like. I've been in that world of doubt where it's like, your singing isn't working, you're not going to be able to help this person, blah, and it's just like telling me things and telling me things. But I've been in that place enough to hear the frequency of doubt and to know what doubt is trying to do to trick me. It wants me to fall into it. It wants me to say, yes, you're right, I should just quit and give up and suck my thumb and lie down. And then the victimization takes over, and then we've lost our power. And when you see this enough, you start to say, okay, what is the different way I can approach this? How can I do this differently? And so now when that comes, I have to recognize it and say, yeah, I know what you're all about, but no. I know what you're all about, but no, there's no in. And any teacher worth their salt is going to tell you this, and I've been told this by my teachers. The moment that you give fear or doubt an in, it's got an in, and then we've lost. And it's very difficult when the energy here is low. Yes, for sure. But if you want to start to do something like the Om chanting, start to stare at something, or just even in meditation, sit there and try to focus in one place for 15 minutes. Focus at the bridge of your nose. When you focus here, it actually opens up all the whole auric body actually expands when you focus here. So just practicing 10-15 minutes a day of like, can I actually keep my mind focused in one place? Train your mind. It's an amazing way to, for me, that's the thing that's changed everything for me, is to not let myself be dominated by my thoughts, by the emotions, by the waves that come. So the other thing you can do, and this is, I'm going to say for both underactive and overactive, this brings balance, is a breath called Nadi Shodhana, which basically in India means, or in Sanskrit means channel cleaning. In India, they know this means, I should say. But basically it means channel cleaning, because nadis are the energy channels in the body, and Shodhana is like purifying or cleansing. So for this breath, you basically want to, at the navel, at the Ajna chakra, this is the termination point for the lunar and solar channels in the body, the Ida and the Pingala. When the Ida and Pingala, the solar and lunar, are in balance, the belief is that the central channel opens up, and this is when the deep energy that's locked in our root starts to awaken. But until these energies are balanced within us, it doesn't open as a safe gap. So when we do this breath, it actually brings these energies into balance. So if you also find yourself, I'm way more masculine or way more feminine, this breath is fantastic for helping that. So I just tuck my first two fingers in. I have my thumb and my other fingers here, and I start on the left side. And I use a metronome for this, so that, because it's very important that the breaths are equal going in and out. So if I were to plug the right nostril to start, I start on the left or lunar side, and I inhale for a count, so you could say a count of 7, and then I switch, exhale for a count of 7. Inhale for a count of 7, switch, exhale for a count of 7. And I can do this for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it's amazing how you feel after this. It balances the brain, balances the emotions, and that's why they typically do this in breath work at the very end and lead yourself into meditation, because it's very helpful for keeping the mind or calming the mind before going into meditation. So you can do this if you're overactive or underactive. But specifically for those of you who have an overactive mind, the funny thing is you actually want to work on some of the other centers in the body, which will make a huge difference. Go back to the videos on the root, go back to the video on the heart, and really work on opening these areas, getting back into your heart, getting grounded so you're not stuck in this world of mental static all the time. I would say too, not spending too much time, or really doing something to limit your time on the internet. Because of that electrical energy, it can really exacerbate the overactivity here. So getting off the computer, not bringing it into your bedroom until this starts to normalize, or never. Definitely good. I think too, opening up the other centers here, you know, and I would say this would be especially for those of you who are having issues with psychic disturbances or nightmares, is starting a practice of prayer. Praying for divine illumination, praying for protection, praying for the Ajna chakra to normalize, that you can close down when you choose. All these sorts of things, it helps to open up the crown as well. So bringing in this crown energy, sometimes people, they get so overactive in their mind because the crown is closed. They've lost that connection to spirit. And this is why sometimes people get really bad headaches here, because spirit is just dying to open, but they just haven't done it. And again, it's like people want to have that tangible experience, but you've kind of in the beginning got to fake it till you make it. Just trying, what does prayer feel like? Once this pops open, it's incredible how that connection to spirit starts to dissolve some of the anger, starts to dissolve some of the things here that are causing this headache or this energy here to congest. So this also helps to reduce the energy in the chakra. Not always for overactive, but generally it does really help. And again, like I said, meditation, just really learning how to slow the mind down, to not think so much. And meditation can be super difficult in the beginning if your mind is overactive. And sometimes the mind just needs to purge. And even sitting for 10-15 minutes where again you're focusing on one area, but just watching yourself drop as those concerns start to go. Write your concerns down on paper. Get it out of your brain. Do a brain dump. It's another good way just to really give yourself some space. So I hope, Yoga Nidra is also wonderful too. You can look that up. There's tons of those on the internet. It's basically yogic relaxation. And I love it because it's almost like you get a sense of being able to leave the cares of the physical world behind and go exploring in your spirit. So that's also a wonderful way just to relax. So thank you so much. And if you don't know for yourself if your chakras are overactive or underactive, you can visit my website and do a click for a little bit of reading on there, and I can do that for you. Also too, if you like what you're seeing on the videos here on YouTube, please click subscribe and like it if you like it. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you for the final one next week on the crown chakra, our universal consciousness, universal awareness of oneness. Thank you so much, and take care.